What's up? It's your boy Remus, and welcome to the ChampSet podcast, the podcast for champions. What's going on? It's your boy Remus, and listen, I'm the doubt killer, belief filler, the one that's going to convince you that you're a winner. On these streets, they call me the maker of masters, the crafter of champions, the weaver of wires. Why? Because give me a little time and I'll add ChampSet to your mind. We're a gang, we're an army, we're a group, we're a squad of ambitious fighters and athletes. And we do everything to get the win, because to us, allowing a loss is a sin. This is the home for ambition and champions in training. This is the ChampSet podcast, and today we're going to be talking about the fight that happened on the weekend between Pacquiao and Keith Thurman. If you don't already know, Keith Thurman was defeated by Pacquiao via split decision, which most people thought it was a unanimous decision. But regardless, Pacquiao got the win, and we're going to talk about what you can learn from that fight. Quickly go over the fight. And yeah, we haven't done a podcast in quite some time because I've been busy doing other stuff like the Art of Champions episodes and also a bit of filming for the vlog. We got an exciting one coming up, Make sure you watch that. But going over the fight, right? If you haven't watched the highlights, you can actually go onto my Instagram. I got the full highlight video there because they didn't let me put it up on YouTube, or I'm kind of getting a few restrictions on YouTube, which is annoying, but you can just go on Instagram to watch the full fight highlight, right? But in that fight, of course, before the fight, Thurman was talking a lot. He was trash talking Pacquiao a lot, trying to get under his skin, and most fighters don't really do that because they know that Pacquiao is not that type of person. Like, they know he's not that type of person to get in a verbal exchange, so it's hard to kind of ignite it. Even Floyd Mayweather, he didn't even really trash talk Pacquiao. Not really at one point, like during the actual fight, like leading up to the fight, I mean. But, Thurman was busy doing that. And Pacquiao said, look, it just gives me more motivation. Just gives me more motivation to try and take this guy out. So in the first round, of course, Pacquiao knocked him down. It actually reminded me a lot, that fight reminded me a lot of the Miguel Cotto fight, because it was the same combination that put him down. I think the same combination throws off of the ropes and stuff. Even at some points when Thurman was backing him up, it was just how Cotto tried to do it, and Pacquiao was smashing his gloves, saying, "Come on, I want some more." Right? And the thing about Pacquiao, when I was watching, I was thinking, this guy's crazy. This guy's mental. He actually loves this stuff, and throughout the whole contest, he kept up his work rate, was more busier, landed way more combinations, was good with his counter punches. He didn't let the play go away, as they say, because every time, even both of them, to be honest, but when Thurman was throwing punches, Pacquiao would quickly come back, even to just at least land one or two, just to keep the momentum at least not going to Thurman. If it couldn't be in Pacquiao's favor, he at least wanted to stop Thurman from having the momentum. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that champions do. They control a lot, but they dictate. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tempo or the direction isn't going to be totally given up to the other guy, because that's when you really are mentally defeated or mentally outclassed. But anyway, I was thinking to myself, Pacquiao loves violence. This guy loves the actual violent aspect of the sport, and I don't think it's because he likes the violence and that he's a hurtful person. He likes it's like, I can tell what he feels. He feels, oh, this is a challenge. This turns me on. Like, he likes when you try to hurt him, and then he has to come through that and prove that, nah, you can't do it. You can't touch him. That's what he likes. He likes the challenge of, oh, you're gonna try to stick it on him? Nah, that can't stop me. So I would say, like, say someone like Floyd Mayweather, I would say he doesn't really care as much about the process, because when he's fighting, he's results oriented. He don't care too much about exciting the fans and all of that stuff. He just wants to make sure he gets that win. And Pacquiao, I'm sure, wants to win as well, but he's got a more competitive edge in a different way, where it's like he actually enjoys the challenge of, oh, you're trying to win. Like, he will even smash his gloves together, let you kind of touch him a bit and go, nah, tap, 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 I'm coming for you. And that's what Pacquiao loves. So I would say more so than being results orientated, he's process orientated, which is two different dynamics that I talk about in the Custom Art of Man, and I think a little bit in the books Automatic Ambition as well, but mainly I think more in the Custom Art of Man. If you want to read up more about internalizing that character for yourself. But Pacquiao loves the process, and that's one reason why he's always in shape. Even at the age of going into his 40s, he's still this guy that's like tremendously fit. He said before the fight, if you don't train hard in the gym, your opponent's gonna make you work hard, so you can't escape it. That's another thing to take from it. If you don't work hard, at some point before the fight, you will work hard when the fight comes. And again, we got to highlight the fact that he is the oldest welterweight champion in history now, which is another extraordinary feat. You know, it kind of puts you in the same breath as, you know, Bernard Hopkins and George Foreman, who have similar achievements. But going back before the fight, Thurman was trying to get into Pacquiao's head a lot, and maybe just trying to market the fight by saying, I'm gonna punch your senator in his face. You have T-Rex arms, you can't do this, you can't do that. I just can't see how you can touch me. I'm gonna beat you up in a way that was almost distasteful. Not that you guys know me, I don't really care, to be honest, but it was interesting to me that Pacquiao kind of accepts that just isn't his lane. Like, he's just not a trash talker, so he doesn't even try. And I think for some guys, it can actually allow them to feel like they're getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? Even especially when they try back, but when they or you can tell they want to. But I don't think Pacquiao even has a desire to even try trash talk you. So it's hard to get into it. But Furman still did it. But it was almost like he was speaking to a blank wall. Some fighters allow the trash talk, but they don't say anything back, and you can see they want to. That's wrong, because there's still going to be some energy that's repressed that when you get into the ring, you're not going to think properly. But I genuinely think Pacquiao does not care. I actually think he does not. Like, he just knows, hey, that's just not me. And truly he's comfortable with that, so he can focus on what he's doing. I think if you stay in your lane, you're able to be more confident. If you want, one of the keys to extreme confidence is just be yourself. But more than that, to be yourself, like, that's very bland and very general. But to do that, you have to understand your strengths and also understand what your weaknesses is, and just maximize your strengths and try to minimize your weaknesses, or just try to what's the word? Like, say if you do lose something, like, you know you're gonna lose in one aspect, just try to minimize it and try to account for it in another way. Try to put a precautionary defensive measure in place that goes for in the ring and out of the ring. But for example, Pacquiao, he knows he can't really trash talk that much. He just goes, all right, cool, he can do what he want to do. I won't even engage in that too much, because when I'm in the ring, that's when my energy comes out. That's where he's gonna maximize his strength, and you can see it. Like, before, he said, it only just pumps me up, but he's not getting drawn into it in a way where he's gonna start losing and stuff, and then it's gonna get him out of his game plan. And then another aspect I would say is with Keith Thurman. He fought tremendously to me in terms of, like, he never really looked like he ever gave up. And there were some points where it's like, oof, that body shot he took, that really hurts and stuff. But he never looked like he just totally was. I mean, he was outclassed, but he wasn't totally outclassed. Like you can tell by watching him that he's a great fighter. Do you get what I'm saying? He never at one point looked like he was just gonna, okay, you're just gonna have it now, Pacquiao. He was always trying, and he couldn't. He just couldn't grab a hold and get a dominant foot going into the ring. But I would say one thing that I don't get why fighters do this is they underestimate their opponents, because they just think about what they have. So when you look at what Thurman was saying before the fight, what did he say? He said, "Oh, Pacquiao can't do this, and I can do this." But at some points he did say, "Oh, Pacquiao's, he is a legend, blah, blah, blah. He does do this well, blah, blah, blah." But I just feel like that stuff is more meaningful to you, more valuable to you than what your strengths are, because you already know your strengths. I think people, and I think I'm going to be the first person to, like, really, really, really push this, is that you need to accept the fact that your opponent, he does have strengths. Don't just keep going on about his weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? You have to find a way to stop his strengths and make sure that his strengths don't capitalize on your weaknesses. Fighters rarely ever I mean, of course, maybe they won't do it on TV, but they don't seem to just want to accept you have weaknesses. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't care who you are. Every fighter has weaknesses because in habits there are ingrained weaknesses. Just by the fact that you're going to do something is automatically a weakness. If you watch my breakdowns, you see the Art of Boxing series, you'll notice this. A lot of the time, 99% of the time actually, the same strengths are actually in the weaknesses that I do. Like, do you catch that? The same skills like the same things that I say are the skills of a fighter are the very same things that I say are the weaknesses of the fighter. So you're gonna have to accept that you have weaknesses, try to study and minimize your weaknesses, and then look at what your opponent does well rather than just looking at what he does bad, because you can't go in the ring against Pacquiao. It's like, it's so boring now. Like, every damn fight they're gonna say, oh yeah, he was just faster than I expected. Oh yeah, those flurry of punches came. I was like he's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. Pacquiao, what he's gonna do. And it's like, I guess it's just a case of people thinking to themselves, like, it's just easier to look at it from the outside as opposed to when you're actually in there. But you it's time now. Stop being surprised by what your opponent can do and start like giving him his credit, to be honest. And don't worry, it doesn't take away anything from you. You just have to minimize the potential for them to surprise you when you go in the ring. But anyway, what else can I say in the fight? I think that's it. There's a lot to learn from that fight. It's very inspirational to see both fighters, even Thurman, the way he fought, but especially Pacquiao, to be able to fight like that at his age and stuff. It is scary. Like, it's actually intimidating. But I'm like, damn, like, a person can do that. A person can actually do that. So you can be young and do that for sure. And I don't see nothing else but something to take. You know what I'm saying? Just always be watching these guys thinking, what can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? What can I learn? Because if you can have that aspect, if you can have that trait about yourself, it's just impossible that in 10 years time, 5 years time, that all of it is not going to build up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're on this podcast to craft champions, as I say, make masters, and you're going to be wise. So I hope training is going well. I'll see you on the next episode of the ChampSet podcast. Stay focused. Let's get ChampSet.